Yes, hello, this is Danhausen here, very nice for evil, and you are listening to Bob After Dark. Subscribe or be cursed.
From Mothman and Nessie to the spirit that haunts your home, welcome to Bob After Dark, a podcast about legends, lore, and the supernatural. So turn your lights down and your volume up and enjoy your trip to the shadows.
Hey there, children of the night, and welcome to Bob After Dark, the show that takes you into the shadows and goes and says hello, everything that goes bump in the night. I'm your host with the most that enjoys toast, Bob, and alongside of me, as always, is my ever wonderful, ever vampiric, ever cape-wearing, and forever the heartthrob of Bob After Dark, my friend, my brother, my producer, Count Panek himself. Oh, hey there, Count Panek.
Oh, hey, Bob. Yes, back here live inside the studio.
I feel like we haven't been in here in so long. That was like a season break.
Well, I mean, we did some Zooms, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a couple things where we had obligations, but yeah, we're back now.
Oh, it feels good because it's almost spooky season. Well, spooky season's like on us right now.
Yeah, where are we at with that? Are we in it?
I feel like we're in the thick of it.
Calendar-wise, we're in summer still, right? So I guess spooky season could start too as well in the summer, but it's the whole thing, we talk about Summerween. When are we officially in it? But I say after Labor Day, Bob.
Look, the Blomels are out at my house already.
After Labor Day, go for it, right? Put up your decorations.
Pretty much. That's where we're at.
We have people around us putting decorations up now as we speak. Despite it being, as we film this, about in the 80s still, we're getting it done, Bob. So have at it.
Yes. And because we're in spooky season, it is time to start talking about spooky season appearances.
Yeah, there's a lot, right?
Because normally we would do a weekend update, but I feel like we haven't been here in a month. Count Panek, why don't we just start fresh? Yeah. We have appearances we're making.
Appearance updates.
Yes, there's appearance updates. Bob After Dark team this upcoming weekend will be at Riot Fest 2025. So keep a lookout for Count Panek in the Cape.
Yeah.
Doing interviews about the paranormal activity and beliefs in the fans of Riot Fest. So
Riot Fest.
Thank you, Riot Fest, for press badges. That's still a weird thing to say out loud.
A music fest would have us there. But yeah, a Friday and Sunday. Talking to folks, maybe getting interviews, some bands or whatnot. We're going to see when we get out there. But 20 years of Riot Fest and a lot of great acts. So, yeah, thank you to Riot Fest for having us out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. And then I have 20 appearances in the month of October between my residency with Sony. I have a couple. We have the Sometimes Scaring is Caring Festival, which we're going to talk about next.
Yes.
But first, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about a charity paranormal investigation that I got invited to do.
What's going on here with this, Bob?
All right, so it is going to be October 17th at the Roth House, or that's in Watseka, Illinois. It is for Perfect Little Paws Incorporated, which isn't just the perfect name for an animal foster rescue. So, Perfect Little Paws is a nonprofit foster-based cat rescue focusing on promoting trap, neuter, release efforts, support community cat caretakers, facilitate utilization of low-cost spade or neuter resources, and promote adoption of homeless cats and kittens in Jasper and Newton County, Indiana. Sherry Bradburn, the president and director of Perfect Little Paws, would like to invite you to their Halloween investigation at the Watseka Wonder House on October 17th at 8 p.m. Tickets can be purchased on Eventbrite for $60. There is limited availability, and when I mean limited, I mean very, very limited amount of tickets there. Paranormal Investigation is actually going to be led by me, Bob from Bob After Dark. I'll be doing 3-card tarot spreads in between the different aspects of investigations while they're for $5 a piece. Proceeds for the investigation will help provide care for the cats, kittens in the rescue. If you're interested in adopting a new furry friend, please visit perfectlittlepaws.com, and that's PURRFECT littlepaws.com. So I'm doing a paranormal investigation for cats. It's a pretty cool thing, I got to admit. And then the following day, Count Panek and I will be at the Sometimes Scaring is Caring Festival.
Tell us about this, Bob.
In East Chicago, Indiana, at Club Cuyahoga at 6 p.m. till about 11. We are going to have the Sometimes Scaring is Caring Festival. All proceeds from that are going to be supporting Extra Life this year, and that's a charity that helps facilitate money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and specifically Lori's Children's here in Chicagoland. So that's
what's going to happen? Club Cuyahoga, of course, East Chicago, Indiana. We want to thank Club Cuyahoga for graciously having us.
Yes, they were very, very nice.
What can people expect if they want to come out, Bob?
We have 3 paranormal podcasts / one specific radio star. I wonder who that could be.
Oh.
We have 3 shows, so it's going to be Ghostly Podcast, Channeling Chavez, with starring our pal Jack. And finally, Bob After Dark.
So it's going to be basically people could watch kind of like a live podcast.
Live event. Yeah, it's a live podcast event.
Ask questions, maybe?
Ask questions, and we have some spooky vendors coming out. We confirmed right now, I could tell you we have Althea Sylvia Schultz coming out.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then
Very cool.
Hopefully we have the Heartland. Jeez, I can't think of their abbreviation, but Hiccup Paranormal will be there. Hopefully, I just got that confirmed. So yeah, it's going to be a really cool time.
And again, to go, it all goes to charity.
All goes to charity. It's $5 a ticket.
$5 a ticket. That's a steal.
That is a steal. I figured for our first year, let's do it at a more cost-efficient route. There's going to be a cash bar at Club Cuyahoga.
Spirits.
Yes, so you could get your spirits while you're there. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a really cool time. I'm very grateful for Club Cuyahoga for having us there. And so if you're listening in and around the Chicagoland area, that is Saturday, October 18th at 6 p.m.
Yes.
So between that and the Perfect Little Pause investigation, I'm going to be at the Wheaton Haunted Flea Market. That's going to be on October 25th.
Oh, man, you got to... Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot of dates in your mind there.
Count on the whiteboard. Me and you have 3 library events.
Yeah, library events.
We have the Highland Public Library. I can't think of the dates for those.
We'll let you know, though.
We have the Highland Public Library, Maryville Public Library, and the Whiting Public Library.
It's all October. So
all October. So we have tons of events. You can discover all of our events online at on the Bob After Dark social medias. I have the graphic put up. Count Panic's going to be at some of them, the libraries we're going to be trying for, and Count Panic's actually going to be hosting the Scaring is Caring Festival.
I found out about this, Bob. So, again, I'm sure we're about a month out. I'll get a list of my duties and whatnot. I'll keep the show going, Bob. Have faith. It will be a well-oiled machine. And I think Chuck Pullen's helping us on the tech.
Yeah, Chuck's will be helping us out.
You don't want me helping out on it. Maybe I'm good with hosting there, Bob.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it, and I'd love to see as many wonderful faces as possible.
Yeah.
So those are just a handful of the things that I got going on in October with Count Panic, and of course we're going to be here every Tuesday night to do the show throughout October, and word on the street is that Bob might be picking up his spooky music duties during the month of October, too.
In October, we got to bring that back.
So every Tuesday between 8 or 8:30, we'll get started, and I'm just going to play blocks of spooky music before we transition into Bob After Dark, so you guys can check that out.
And the veil, would you see the veil? It's still
veil's thinning right now.
It's
kind of like a certain pop singer. There's a meme about her defrosting
for Christmas. So would you say once Christmas. Labor Day starts, it starts to thin?
It starts to feel a little thinning starting at Labor Day, but once October, like mid-September rolls around, we had some really good dates for some spooky times like the past couple of days. And then, just yesterday, it was really warm outside.
Well, this week is, we're still technically a calendar of summer, but yeah, this week is very summer-like. Last week was kind of fall-like. But, they say in the Midwest, Bob, that's false fall. That's a little tease of fall.
It is a false
Then you go back to your summer, and then you never know what the future holds. But, we're still in the midst of the summer doldrums, as they say. The dog days of summer, Bob. But you never know. The veil's thinning, Bob. The veil's thinning. We're getting there, Bob. Listen, decorate your house. I don't care. People decorate their houses now Go for it.
Oh, my house is decorated.
You got decorated.
Yes.
That's fine. It's after Labor Day. Go for it.
Absolutely. So, Count Panek, now that we got some announcements out of the way, you ready to talk a little bit about what Bob After Dark's all about? This is your first time ever watching or listening to it.
What is it about?
Well, the Bob After Dark is your weekly-ish paranormal show where we talk about legends, lore, and the supernatural, things that go bump in the night, lights in the sky, and weird cryptid stories. And, of course, Count Panek's favorite trick-or-treat candy to get when they were a kid.
No, this is a good question, Bob. Well, I'm a big fan of Kit Kat, so it was always nice to get Kit Kat in there. But, the pumpkin, the Reese's pumpkin was always nice.
The Reese's pumpkin has 2 or 3 grams of protein, believe it or not.
It's healthy for you. So if you eat a bunch of those, you're okay.
Yeah. Get your daily protein intake from Reese's Pumpkins.
I like when people did the Halloween-inspired candies, even those little wrapped up black and orange candies.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you go with the theme of the holiday or whatnot, but we'll see. I mean, sometimes you get those king-size candy bars, which are pretty nice, too.
Depends on the neighborhood, yeah.
Still the best treat I ever received was a can of root beer. 1 year.
That's a classy house.
A can of root beer. A full can, not one of those mini cans, a full can.
Full can. I don't think
Nice.
mini cans were a thing when we
Kept
were
me hydrated trick-or-treating. Yeah, mini cans weren't a thing when we were kids.
Yes. Would you like to know what my favorite candy to receive was?
I'm going to try to guess. Reese's Pieces.
No, Crunch Bars. I'll always love the Twix bars and the Crunch Bars.
Now, were you ever... See, those are good choices. Did you ever get upset with what you got and said, can I have something else?
No, God, no. You know how fast my mother would have yoinked my ear off my skull?
Ungrateful.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so how the show works is we split the show up into 2 parts. First part is with the weird, spooky news of the week. That's where you, the fans, and me, the Bob, go scouring the internet for the weird and unusual, the creepy and the odd and news. So anything from advances in science that borderline on science fiction, or ghosts making it into major media, or tonight we have a video about missiles being shot at a UFO. So we have a lot of interesting things for the news of the week, and then we dive into the lore of the week, which is the meat and potatoes of the episode.
The meat and potatoes, Bob.
I'll have the potatoes. Count Panek has the meat.
Yeah, we got it for you because you're a vegetarian.
Yes,
but I could add the steak and everything. Chicken.
Right.
You could eat lamb, I think, though.
No, it's meat.
I know. They say fish and lamb. I don't know.
All right. So are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready to dive in, Bob.
Okay. So our first news story has actually been sent in by multiple people, but the video I'm using is from our pal Patrick from Ghostly Podcast.
Okay.
Shout out to Patrick. Apparently, there was a recent Mothman sighting in Chicago over the past couple of weeks, and it was above Navy Pier. One of the tourists that were at Navy Pier looked up and saw a bigger flying creature with glowing red eyes floating in the air, and it flew off across Lake Michigan towards the Indiana. So that's the current Mothman sighting in Chicago.
That was.
Yes. You good over there?
Yeah, I was going to say, but you saw him before.
I have, yes. I was one of the ones who saw him on the south side, but that was years ago. This is a recent sighting.
Yeah. Well, that's true, too. I mean, the recent sightings as well, but Mothman and Chicagoland just goes together, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
It's not as popular as the Appalachian Mothman stories, like obviously Point Pleasant, West Virginia. But in this case, this particular one is Chicago sighting proper above Navy Pier.
Yeah, Navy Pier. Well, here's the thing, too. With the Mothman in all the directions, he's known again to be around here, but there's other sightings everywhere. But why don't they have a statue of him out here if he's seen enough out here, Bob?
What's that count?
Why don't they have a statue of him out here if they've seen him out here, you know?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think we have enough statues in Chicago that are creepy. You ever been to the Fountain of Time?
The Fountain of Time. I have not been to the Fountain
that
of Time.
That statue is creepy.
Yeah.
But, yes, so that's Mothman sighting.
Yeah, Mothman sighting. Everywhere.
Okay. Next news story comes to us from AOL, which I never would have expected in a million years to be talking about AOL.com, but apparently they have a news article for us this week. This was written by Inga Parkle. Inga Parkle. Yeah, so museum officials, this is about the official confirmed haunted Annabelle doll's whereabouts after missing rumors go viral. Okay, this is a little bit older.
Okay, let's hear it.
But there's an update on it. So, museum officials have spoken out about the real-life Annabelle's whereabouts amid rumors that she's gone missing again. The demonically possessed Raggedy Ann doll, which has become a classic fixture in the horror genre, is rumored to escape her casing as she's traveled around the country on the Devils on the Run tour hosted by the New England Society for Psychical Research, or NESPR. In early May, the doll, typically housed in the NESPR's Warren's Occult Museum, founded by paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, made a tour stop in New Orleans recently. Unfounded conjectures that she somehow gone missing while in Louisiana began to circulate online after some visitors claimed that they didn't see the doll during the tour. Meanwhile, a recent fire at the nearby Nottoway Plantation turned Nottoway Resort in White Castle, not the restaurant, intensified speculation that there was somehow a connection between Annabelle's supposed disappearance and the blaze. Unfortunately, this article was written a little bit before Dan's passing, but Dan Rivera debunked theories that the doll gone missing in a TikTok video posted Saturday. So, Annabelle, once again, is not missing. She is nestled away safely at the Warrens' house.
Safety, you sure? Because there was that controversy, you can't move her. But, yeah.
So, hashtag panic stake.
Yeah, as long as she's where she's at, that's the main thing. I mean, of course, people always speculate, can she just walk about? You know, like the movie, right, Bob? The Conjuring movie, the Annabelle movies. But in this case, she's still safe and sound in there.
Right.
By the way, did you see the new one?
No, the new Conjuring movie. Yeah. I'm going to marathon my way through the old ones and see it.
They say this is the final one.
I will believe that when I see it. There's cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren they haven't covered yet. They haven't covered the werewolf case.
Well,
the legitimate werewolf case.
Do you think they're going to spin off it? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. I will see it. I like the first one enough. It's a good enough horror movie, even though we haven't covered that story on the show yet. But there's a lot of Swiss cheese, if you know what I mean, in that story. There's a lot of holes.
A lot of holes in the story.
Yeah, there are a lot of holes.
But they had a lot of doubters too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so we ready to move on to our next story?
Yeah.
All right, so Earth's secret frequency, the 0.1 hertz. Mystery that science cannot explain. This was written by David Freeman for AboveTheNormNews.com. I actually got this article from Jack, of all people. He posted it in his Paranormal Chicago group, and I decided to hijack it for the show. So thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
Seismic monitoring stations around the world have been detecting something that challenges conventional understanding of Earth's behavior. These mysterious vibrations, known as microseisms, pulse through the ground continuously at frequencies between 0.05 and 0.1 hertz, creating a phenomenon that has puzzled researchers since the first documentation in the early 1900s. The initial discovery of microseisms occurred during seismologists noticed that their instruments recorded persistent ground movements even during periods of complete seismic quiet. No earthquakes were occurring, no volcanic activity was present. Yet the Earth continued to vibrate with mechanical precision. There weren't random fluctuations or instrument errors, but organized rhythmic signals that traveled thousands of miles through solid rock. What makes microseisms particularly unsettling is their omnipresence. Mm-hmm. There's every seismometer on the Earth records these signals continuously, creating a global network of detection that reveals the planet's constant state of motion. Unlike the violent jolts of earthquakes or predictable patterns of tidal forces, microseisms represent an energy source that operates according to rules of science that has yet to be fully comprehended. The frequency range of these signals places them below human perception, but well within the detection capabilities of modern seismographic equipment. Traveling at the speed of sound through rock, which is pretty fast, approximately 8 kilometers per second, these waves can circle the globe multiple times before dissipating. Their presence suggests an energy source that never ceases, never requires charging, and operates with clockwork regularly, that defies natural randomness. Traditional scientific explanations attribute the microseisms to ocean wave activity, with the storm systems generating the mechanical energy that propagates through the Earth's crust. Storm waves colliding with coastlines or interacting with each other in deep waters supposedly create the pressure variations that transmit seismic energy through the seafloor. The theory provides a convenient framework for understanding the phenomena, but it fails to account for the numerous documented anomalies that researchers have quietly cataloged over the decades. Seismic stations have recorded intense microseism activity during periods when oceanic conditions should have produced minimal seismic energy. Calm weather patterns across major ocean basins coincide with increased signal strength rather than the expected decrease. These observations suggest that the ocean wave explanation, while partially correct, represents only a fragment of a much larger and more complex phenomenon. The global seismographic network, with over 150 monitoring stations worldwide, have revealed patterns in microseism activity that challenge current understanding. These stations, equipped with instruments capable of detecting ground movements smaller than atomic dimensions, record microseism signatures that demonstrate mathematical relationships exceeding what random natural processes should produce. The signals show coordination across vast distances, with the intensity changes at one location triggering corresponding responses at stations 1,000 miles away. Most disturbing to the scientific community is the discovery of what researchers privately term sourceless signals. These microseisms appear at monitoring stations in regions where no mechanism should generate such vibrations. Desert locations far away from any oceanic influence regularly produce microseism readings comparable to coastal areas during active storm periods. Underground facilities detect these signals at depths where surface weather conditions should have no influence whatsoever. The mathematical analysis of long-term microseism data reveals that statistical patterns that suggest underlying organization rather than random occurrence. Computer modeling shows that these signals follow pathways through the Earth that don't correspond to known geological structures or ocean current patterns. These vibrations seem to propagate along the routes that bypass conventional understandings of how seismic energy travels through different types of rocks and density layers. Recent advances in seismic monitoring technology have only deepened the mystery. High-resolution instruments capable of distinguishing between different types of seismic waves reveal that microseisms possess characteristics that don't match the signature of known natural phenomena. The signals maintain coherence over distances that could cause them to disperse and weaken, yet they arrive at distant monitoring stations with clarity that defies physical expectations. The continuous nature of the microseism's activity means the Earth never experiences true seismic silence. Even in the absence of earthquakes, storms, or human activity, the planet continues to generate these mysterious vibrations with unwavering consistency. This perpetual motion suggests an energy source that operates independently of surface conditions and geological events, pointing towards mechanisms that current seismic models have yet to identify or explain. Hashtag panic steak.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, Bob. Is this the video that we got here too?
No, the video's about the next story.
Oh, okay, making sure. No, there's a lot to unpack there, Bob. But who's to say it's not?
It's interesting, right?
There's some science elements here. I'm not a scientist by any means.
I'm not a geologist. I only play one on
as
TV.
well. But if we kind of got them on board here, I think they maybe could say, hey, there's something going on here, Bob.
I would say so, Count Panic.
Yeah, I think it's true.
It's interesting what's creating these tiny waves of this perpetual motion.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of scary if you think about it.
It's very strange, Bob.
And the fact that it's not being reported much is a stranger case.
Except
even
here.
Still.
We're reporting on it.
What do you suppose is causing it?
Ghosts, Bob.
Ghosts in the core of the earth?
Ghost in the
center of the earth.
Yeah, ghost. Is that a movie? There should be a movie.
There should be a movie about that.
I'm
I don't
not sure,
know,
Bob.
man.
I don't know.
It makes you wonder what's down in those crusts that are causing these micros.
Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting?
What's that?
We have to go there.
Yes, Count Panic and Bob go to the center of the earth.
We just dig a hole, all right?
Yes.
And we all end up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Count. Let's talk about our last story. Okay. This one was actually sent in from our pal Chuck.
Chuck Pullen.
Yeah, Chuck Pullen from the Summer of Chuck series here at WJOB. Summer of Chuck series here at WJOB. Sent this in, tagged me in it, and it's very rare that I probably would ever quote TMZ on Bob After Dark because we're not a celebrity pop culture gossip show.
We're not.
However, TMZ covered this, and they actually had some of the best coverage out of any news outlet I read, so I gotta give TMZ credit here. But a UAP sighting shrugs off a direct missile hit. Count's got the video pulled up.
So should I just play this, or does it have sound, or what?
Let me read it first. Okay. So Wild Cliff just surfaced from a congressional UAP hearing. This was last week, by the way, showing a glowing orb cruising over the Yemen coast like nothing happened, even after the U.S. allegedly blasted a Hellfire missile at it. Peep this. Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson whipped out the footage Tuesday in D.C. showing an MQ-9 Reaper tailing the mysterious orb on October 30th, 2024. But when the drone got the green light to fire, the missile literally bounced off and the thing zipped away at insane speeds, totally unfazed. Burleson, a big advocate for government transparency on unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP, drove the point home. This footage came straight from a whistleblower, and it's now under independent review. The footage hit like a bombshell in the middle of the congressional hearing as 3 Navy and Air Force vets swore under oath that they've seen UFOs with their own eyes and dropped the hammer, accusing U.S. intel of running a full-blown cover-up. Filmmaker Jeremy Corbell also hopped on TMZ Live this past Tuesday to break down the landmark UAP hearing, pointing out how the object peeled off from the main craft and kept flying after the failed shoot-down attempt, while also dishing fresh details from the historic session, commending witnesses for boldly naming names on the congressional record. As you know, UFOs always stir the pot. Skeptics scoff. Believers yell, "Told you so," but this clip provides things that ain't so black and white. I hate that they use that term, by the way, ain't. My mother somewhere is like, that's not proper English. Yeah. No tech we know of eats a missile and keeps cruising like a boss. This is the next level, never before seen stuff. So the question is, what the hell are we actually dealing with here? So, Count, can you play the video for us, please?
Yes, let's fire it up here and let's see what we got.
Yeah, for our Jed TV audience, you're about to be seeing it.
Sound here. Okay.
So this is, you can see where the crosshairs are from this is all taken in perspective from the United States missile launcher.
It's just flying by there, Bob.
Yep.
Record speed.
And there's the orb.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
And there's us launching a missile at said orb.
Look at that.
And the orb just keeps going.
Wow.
And I mean, it looked like it hit.
Yeah, no, it did hit. Looked like a direct hit, Bob.
There it is, and it's just taking off like nothing happened to it.
Where's it going? Wow.
This is off the coast of Yemen. So that thing just took a Hellfire missile and just kept going.
Yeah, because look at it. It's going there. We'll play it back one more time for the folks at home if you're watching on the old JED TV. There it goes. Hits it. Then it just kind of keeps going, right? Missile goes off. There you go. We see that go happen. There it goes. So what is this, Bob? What
I don't know what we're looking at, but it
it?
should terrify everybody, realistically.
Yeah. So we
I don't know many crafts that could just eat a missile and just keep going like nothing happened.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Did anybody say anything about this?
I mean, that was the whole point of the congressional hearing.
Well, they'll figure it out then. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Bob. TMZ. Who knew?
Who knew? So
The leading expert in paranormal.
leading expert at something. All right, Count Panic, you ready to take a quick break?
Yeah, sure.
All right, podcast fans, you're about to be hearing words from a podcast that you should be listening to, and to our live fans, we'll be right back.
Welcome to Ghostly.
Pat, what are you doing?
What? I want people to know that we're a podcast that takes a deep dive into some of the scariest ghost stories.
But we don't do the creepy voices or weird sound effects. We debate the ghost stories. And aren't you supposed to be the skeptic?
I am, but they'll find that out once they listen.
Look, all you have to do is tell them to listen to Ghostly, and that our listeners get to decide which stories are real.
And which stories are just old folklore.
Exactly.
Download Ghostly wherever you find great podcasts.
Oh, jeez.
And we're back.
Oh, we're back, Bob.
Count, what'd you do during break?
Bob, I went to the center of the earth.
Oh, what'd you find out about the microseismic activity?
Nothing about that, but there is a whole bunch of just cheese curds laying in there. Cheese curds, Bob.
Oh, so the cheese curds are causing the seismic activity.
You go to the center of the earth.
Are you sure you went to the center of the earth and not Wisconsin?
Bob, I didn't even bring this up with you.
What?
I was in Wisconsin a little bit this past weekend.
Okay, let's pause. Did you stop at the promised land of the Mars Cheese Castle?
Bob, is the Pope Catholic? I did stop at the Cheese Castle.
And what'd you get?
I had some cheese curds and a little case of spotted cow here. But here's the thing about the Cheese Castle. I haven't been there in a few years. Uh-oh. I don't know if the phone's ringing on me. Hold on there.
We have a caller, perhaps.
Hold on, caller. But I did go to the Cheese Castle, and man, that place, I feel like since the last time I've been there, a few years back, it's really grew. It's really the Disneyland of dairy. I mean,
it really is.
It's insane. But, Bob, we're big at the Mars Cheese Castle.
I know we are, yes.
Legends. What did you do during break?
You know, I was doing some research. On UAP explosions, and I think I know the problem.
What is it?
We're firing heat-seeking missiles, but not ice-seeking missiles.
See, you solved it. Congress needs you.
Yep. Hire me, Department of
Secretary of Defense.
Yes, that's what I want to be.
Paranormal Defense.
Paranormal
Space
Defense.
We have a caller.
All right, caller on the air.
Take it live there.
Hey there, Bob. I hope I'm not interrupting the Count's Cheese Castle.
Oh, no, but John, it's nice to hear your voice.
Hey, I'm all excited about Club Cuyahoga. I ran in the bill last Friday at Bishop Knoll game, and he was looking for you guys last Tuesday, and I kind of told him what happened there. But he brought up Club Cuyahoga. He might even be listening. Give you a call later, and I think he's all excited that he's going to show up there too. And
that's great to hear. So what Sean is saying, folks, is not only do you get the chance to see me and Count Panic, but you can also meet caller John.
You know what? That's right. And caller Bill, I guess, if he's going to be there. Yeah. Well, maybe in a corner of the bar somewhere, but
I think most people probably will, John.
But sounds like you got a exciting lineup of activities going there through the month of October. So That's good to hear.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you maybe a stupid question. Are there multiple Mothmen like there are of Bigfoot?
We don't know. That's the thing. Is it the same creature that we've heard of in West Virginia all those years ago?
Yeah.
Or are there multiple? I don't know. It's not a stupid question. I wish I had a better answer for you. I would assume that there's more than one of these things, but I don't know.
Okay, and are they? Do you know? He was at maybe Pure Side. Are they attracted like to the nightlife of a big city? Amusement area, or
usually they're harbingers of something bad to happen. When they show up, something bad's following them.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, and that's interesting with, I didn't see it, but kind of heard it in the background of radio with Chuck sent, and that was on TMZ. So, but yeah, anyway, just calling to say, see how you guys are doing, and looking forward to seeing you at the old Club Cayuga there.
Right.
Yeah, Club Cayuga. That's a place
October
to be.
18th. Yeah. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate that, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
All right, Bob. Have a good rest of the show.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. 219-845-1100.
I hear he's charging $10 for a meeting.
$10 autograph from John. We're not charging anything for autographs, but John, $10.
Bill, $20.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So, Count, are you ready to dive into the lore of the week?
I am, but now I'm thinking we should do a show at the Cheese Castle.
What was that?
We should do a podcast at the Cheese Castle.
I would love to do a live podcast at the Marsh Cheese Castle.
We might be able to set that up.
All right. So I want to start our lore of the week off with something that I just got, and that was from our pal Patrick from Ghostly Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Rebecca actually received an email from a relative of who we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm going to start with this email, and we're going to talk a little bit about who this person is and why it's relevant to this night's story.
Okay.
So, let me finish this up, and it says, okay, so those are all my ghost stories. Now it's time for what is probably most interesting. So, as I said before, I am somehow related to Ronald Hunkeler. Ronald Hunkeler, which is Hunkeler, is my great-grandpa. He's not my DNA great-grandpa, but I like to think of him that way because he is my stepmom's grandfather, and she is like a real mom to me. Anyway, sadly, I don't know much about him because my grandpa did not have the greatest relationship with him. I know Ronald Hunkeler just recently died in 2020. I remember my parents and Papa Mike, my grandpa, talking about it. I know my Papa Mike thinks the whole exorcism thing was a hoax because Ronald wanted attention. Sorry I don't have any more information about that, but I thought you guys would like to know what I know. You can share anything you would like, just please keep this anonymous. Love this podcast so much. So we're not going to say who the person was, but Ronald Hunkeler is the real name, supposedly, of Ronald Doe.
Okay.
And tonight's episode is about the exorcism of Ronald Doe. Now, have you ever heard this story before, Count Panek?
I've never heard this story before.
Have you ever heard of a movie or a book called The Exorcist?
Oh, I've heard that before, yes.
Okay, so the movie The Exorcist is based on a book, which is based loosely on real life situation. Instead of the Regan was Linda Blair's name in the movie, right? In The Exorcist, her name's Regan, I think. Now I'm questioning myself. Can you look that up for me while I'm working on this?
Was it Reagan or Regan?
Reagan, yep. So Linda Blair, in this movie, it was Linda Blair was the character. But in real life, the character was Ronald Doe, which the name back up until we found out the last name of this character. Pardon.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about it,
okay.
This case, because it's one of the most interesting exorcism cases I've ever heard of. And it's probably, I would argue, one of the most famous, and without people knowing about it. Because The Exorcist is an iconic horror film.
Yeah,
It's one of the best of all time. And it's also one of the most recognizable horror films of all time. So we're going to read an article here from Emily Martin from Novel Suspects. Ronald Doe, the chilling true story that inspired The Exorcist.
All right.
The Exorcist is a classic 1973 horror film directed by William Friedkin. The film, which tells the story of a young girl who is possessed by a demonic force, is one of the highest grossing horror films of all time, and critics praised it for its truly terrifying film experience. But many people don't realize how popular the horror film was actually inspired by a true story. Now remember, I have to say true story in quotations because I am leaving this up to you guys to decide. Yeah. But we'll get to it. Just in time for Halloween, here's the real story behind one of the scariest movies ever made. In the late 1940s, a 13-year-old boy, commonly known by alias Ronald Doe, was mourning the death of his aunt. His aunt taught him about spiritualism, which was a big movement of that time period between like the late 1800s and that 1940s and 1950s era. Mm-hmm. Spiritualism was a big kind of religious movement where, talking to ghosts and stuff was the norm. And it was a common thing for the aunt to come over with an Ouija board, and they would do seances at the house. And young Ronald would say that, and this is all stuff that I know that I'm just adding in here. Story goes that during some of these seances, you would hear knocking on the walls and scampering across the ceiling during these. But at the time, the aunt had died, and Ronald's family notes that strange things always happen in their house shortly after the death of his beloved family member. In January 1949, the family reported hearing strange dripping noises and scratching sounds in the house. At first, Ronald's mother believed the noises were Roland. I keep saying Ronald. It's Roland.
Yeah.
At first, Roland's mother believed the noises were connected to the dead aunt. So the family started reaching out to the spirits they believed to be in the house, hoping they could reason with them and asked to be left alone. However, this only made things worse. Ronald claimed that he can hear someone walking in his room at night when he was trying to sleep, and there were scratch marks found on his mattress in the morning. Eventually, scratch marks also began appearing on his body. Not knowing what else they could do, the families called the local minister. And after observing the boy overnight, the church suggested they reach out to Jesuits and for the family to convert to Catholicism because the Catholics were the ones to be known to how to deal with, demonic possession. It's kind of interesting that their local minister told them to jump from religion to a religion to deal with an exorcism, but it's how the story goes.
It happens.
So the family tried to convert to Catholicism and tried to having Ronald baptized. But the young boy responded to the baptism attempts with unbridled rage. So the story goes that Roland's aunt and uncle were taking Roland to the church to get baptized when he threw an incredible rageful fit in the back seat of the car, and they had to stop and turn around and not actually go get him baptized. And at one point, Roland was admitted to a hospital where a psychiatrist attempted to treat him, but was ultimately unsuccessful. From there, the family thought moving Roland to a different house might make the spirits leave him alone, but the strange events occurred. The family was out of options, so they called upon priests to perform an exorcism. Father J. Bishop was one of the priests who was called in the exorcism, and the bishop later wrote about his experiences. And by the way, the family moved from the East Coast over to St. Louis, actually.
Okay.
Another priest who came to assist the family was Father William S. Bowdrin. At one point, Bowdrin attempted to protect Roland through blessings and by putting a crucifix under the boy's pillow. After leaving Roland to rest, the family returned to find furniture flipped over and the crucifix moved to the edge of the bed. Roland's mattress was shaking uncontrollably. Priests performed multiple exorcisms on young Ronald Doe. One was performed at Georgetown University Hospital, a Jesuit institution. Another took place at the Alexian Brothers Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri. And let's talk a little bit about the St. Alexius Hospital in Missouri. It was a Catholic hospital in St. Louis founded in 1869 by the Alexian Brothers, a healing order of Catholic men. In 1870, it began an operation as a two-bed facility. In 1874, the building was erected, and in 1890, a four-story building was completed, with a fifth added in 1897, and in 1909, the hospital became affiliated with St. Louis University. In between 1928 and 1952, the hospitals operated a training school for male nurses. It offered services only to men until 1962. In 1997, the hospital began to get managed by the Sisters of Mercy, and in 2000, it became the St. Alexius Hospital under sponsorship of St. Anthony's Medical Center. It was previously known that the Alexian Brothers Hospital or the Alexian Hospital and Insane Asylum. The hospital claimed to be the oldest American hospital west of the Mississippi River. So that's interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But their most famous person that stayed there was Roland, not Ronald. Why do I keep doing that? It was Roland Doe. So Roland Doe stayed there for 12 weeks. And during that 12 weeks, priests were doing exorcisms on this kid almost daily. Like, they kept going. And it was to no avail, unfortunately. So, what do you think of the story so far, Count Bailey?
Yeah, to no avail, though, Bob.
Yes.
Yeah.
While the exorcisms were performed, young Roland vomited, urinated, spit, and spoke in perfect Latin.
Yeah.
Roland also took on a deep, adult-sounding voice that was unfamiliar. And there's actually a really good documentary if you're on HBO Max, and it's called The Exorcism of Roland Doe. Such a good flick on HBO Max that goes into full detail about this. But one of the people in the film is a paranormal researcher that wrote the book about The Exorcist.
Okay, which inspired, yeah.
What was that?
Which was all inspired by, right?
Yeah. So wrote a book about the Roland Doe case and called The Devil Came to St. Louis. He actually interviewed one of the Alexian Jesuit priests who took a vow of secrecy over the patients they took care of, specifically the exorcism cases. But he actually interviewed one before he died, and they were talking about the things that were going on with Roland when he was at the hospital, that he was floating above the bed and would come out cursing and blaspheming different nasty words that would come out of his mouth. And it just was a very sad moment. But the final exorcism was conducted with the help of the priest Walter Harlan and William von Rue. At some point during the exorcism ritual, Halloran's nose was broken, and in the end, the priest claimed that they were successful in exorcising the demons from Roland's body, and the young boy went on to live a normal life. However,
It's always a however.
we got to talk about the exorcism itself. So the last exorcism was that these two priests came in and they put a statue of St. Michael the Archangel in the room with him, and they were praying and paying homage to St. Michael the Archangel in the room. And they believe that statue actually got Roland to snap out of his exorcism as possession and was able to expel the demon himself by using this statue. And his last words he said were, "He's gone," before he was fully healed. Now, this case is very, very, very interesting because you have to understand that during the time period of when this went on, our medical facilities, especially mental health, weren't the best equipped to handle situations. So skeptics believe that Roland did all of this for attention. and that he was deeply disturbed individual that was experiencing things for mental health reasons or seeking attention. However, do you believe the Jesuit priests who say that Roland was floating above his blankets, was coming out speaking perfect Latin, which was impressive because he didn't know how to speak Latin at the time?
Yeah. I mean, how do you explain that, Bob?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, I'm no expert, but, if somebody starts speaking Latin, but they don't know Latin in a different voice, that sounds like kind of something spooky going on there. That's just my hunch, though. Again, I'm no expert, Bob.
You're no expert.
No, but that's what I have to say about it.
I think you're an expert.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Okay, so in 1993, a book called Possessed, The True Story of an Exorcism from author Thomas B. Allen offered the consensus of today's experts that Robbie Roland was a deeply disturbed boy and nothing supernatural about him. Author Mark Opasnak questioned many supernatural claims associated with the story, proposing that Ronald Doe was simply a spoiled, disturbed bully who threw deliberate tantrums to get attention or to get out of school. Opasnak reports that Halloran, who was present at the exorcism, never heard the boy's voice change, and he only thought the boy merely mimicked Latin words he heard the clergymen say, rather than gaining a sudden ability to speak Latin. Opasnak reported that when the marks were found on the boy's body, Halloran failed to check the boy's fingernails to see if he made the marks himself. Opasnak also questioned the story of Hughes's attempts to exorcise the boy and his subsequent injury, saying that he could find no evidence that such an episode actually occurred. During this investigation, Opasnak discovered that the exorcism did not take place at 3210 Bunker Hill Road in Mount Rainier, Maryland. The boy never lived in Mount Rainier. The boy's home was in Cottage City, Maryland. Much of the commonly accepted information in the story is based on hearsay, is not documented, it was never fact-checked. There's no evidence of Father E. Albert Hughes visited the boy's home, had him admitted to Georgetown Hospital, requested that the boy remained at the hospital, and attempted an exorcism of the boy at Georgetown Hospital, or was injured by the boy during an exorcism or at any other time. There is ample evidence refuting claims that Father Hughes suffered an emotional breakdown and disappeared from the Cottage City community. According to the author, individuals connected to the incident were influenced by their own specializations. To the psychiatrist, Rob Doe, or Ronald Doe, suffered from mental illnesses. To the priest, this was a case of demonic possessions. To the writers and TV film producers, this was a story to exploit for profit. Those involved saw what they were trained to see. Each purported to look at the facts, but just was opposite was true. And actually, they manipulated the facts and emphasized information that fit their own agenda. Opasnak wrote that he located and spoke with the neighbors and childhood friends of the boy, mostly whom he only referred to by initials, and he concluded that the boy had been a very clever trickster who had pulled pranks to frighten his mother and to fool children in the neighborhood. Skeptic Joe Nickel, rest in peace, wrote that there was simply no credible evidence to suggest that the boy was possessed by demons or evil spirits, and maintains that symptoms of possession can be childishly simple to fake. Nickel dismissed suggestions that supernatural forces made scratches or markings or caused words to appear on the teenager's body as unreachable places, saying, "A determined youth, probably even without a wall mirror, could have easily manifested such a feat. It actually occurred." Although the scratch messages were proliferated, they never again appeared on a difficult-to-reach portion of the boy's anatomy. On one occasion, the boy was reportedly seen scratching the words "Hell" and "Christ" on his chest before using his own fingernails. by using his own fingernails, I should say. According to Nickel, nothing that was reality reported in this case was beyond the abilities of a teenager to produce. The tantrums, the trances, moved furniture, hurled objects, automatic writing, superficial scratches, and other phenomena were just kinds of things someone of our age could accomplish, just as others have done before and since. Indeed, the elements of poltergeist phenomena, spiritual communication, and demonic possession, taken both separately and especially together as one progressed to the other, suggest nothing so much as a role-playing involving trickery. Nickel also dismissed stories of the boy's prestigious strength, saying that he showed nothing more than what could be summoned by an agitated teenager, and criticized popular accounts of exorcism for what he termed a stereotypical storybook portrayal of the devil. Two Christian academics, Terry D. Cooper, a professor of psychology, and Cindy K. Epperson, a professor of sociology, wrote that advocates of possession believe that although they are not frequent, exorcisms are necessary for casting out the demonic, and cases of genuine possession cannot be explained by psychiatry. Cooper and Epperson devoted a chapter in their book, Evil, Satan, Sin, and Psychology, to the case and dismissed natural explanations in favor of supernatural perspectives regarding the nature of evil. So you know a little bit about both sides of the story of Roland.
We do now, yeah.
Roland Doe or Robbie Manheim are, the different names. Ronald Hunkeler is is supposedly the real name. That's Roland, Hunkeler. So depending on what you call him, if it's Ronald Doe, is it Robbie Manheim, or Ronald Hunkeler even, it leaves the story up to the imagination. Was he actually possessed? And if he wasn't, was it a psychiatric episode, or is it a boy looking for an excuse to get attention? What do you think, Count Panek? Do you think there was an actual demonic possession going on here, or do you think it was a story of shenanigans?
I think there's just too many things you can't explain here, Bob, though, to be quite shenanigans or hooey. There's a lot of unanswered questions, I feel, like that. I mean, how do some things occur? And that's the case with a lot of these stories about possession. I mean, people climbing on walls or whatnot. How do you really explain that? I mean, that doesn't seem normal to me. But I'm going to say it's something otherworldly, Bob. I don't think it's phony. You?
I think there was a real case of something going on here.
How you couldn't explain some of that stuff. We need facts. We need proof.
Oh, my goodness. So the last thing I want to talk about before we call the show quits is was shooting the set of The Exorcist cursed?
Yeah, this is a big thing. They say a lot of crazy things happen after the fact, onset, after the fact, offset. Is it cursed, Bob? Do you have the answer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, let us hear it then.
Okay. Are you ready to talk a little bit about some of that stuff?
Please do.
Okay. So just as cast and crew prep for production, a fire broke out in the set of the McNeil home, which is where they were shooting The Exorcist. It's claimed that only room that survived the disaster is Regan's bedroom, as told in the documentary Fear of God, 25 Years of The Exorcist. All told, it took 6 weeks to rebuild the set. With the set rebuilt, the project was back on track momentarily. In his first week of filming, Max von Sydow, who portrayed Father Lancaster Marin, learned that his brother had died and promptly returned to Sweden for the funeral. Similarly, Linda Blair, the then child star behind Regan McNeil, lost her grandfather, causing yet another delay. And then the 10-foot demon statue used to be in the film was lost in the Hong Kong while en route to a filming location in Iraq, the story goes. In the documentary Fear God, 25 Years of the Exorcist, Ellen Burstyn, who played Regan's mother and stars in the upcoming Believer, said that 9 people died during production, including an assistant cameraman's newborn baby and night watchman. According to another deceased was actor Jack McGowan, who died shortly after appearing in the film as director Burke Dennings, one of the characters killed by the demon-possessed Regan. Only 54 years old, McGowan died of complications from the flu at the Algonquin Hotel in New York City, the New York Times reported in January 1973. Others suffered on set lifetime injuries. A crew member lost his toe while a carpenter chopped off his thumb. Blair shared that she fractured her lower back while convulsing in a harness, leading to a lifelong struggle with scoliosis. And Blair remembered screaming, "Please make it stop, it hurts, it burns," as she was filming the scene. And it truly was hurting her, but the pleas mirrored the script, so no one knew to stop the scene. That the footage they used in the movie where I'm crying my eyes out because they brutally damaged my back, Blair said. Burstyn also hurt her back while filming, though it was more human error than supernatural interference. They had been filming a scene in which Burstyn was roughly pushed to the floor by Regan's demonic powers, a feat made possible by having a crew member pull back Burstyn's harness, but during one of the takes the crew member pulled too harness and the back was injured. That was a bad experience, she told The Guardian in 2018. Though there has been much said about the so-called haunting, many of those who worked on the film, including Blair, have dismissed the claims as mere speculation. If you shoot something for a year, people are going to get hurt, people are going to die, actor Max von Sydow said in Fear of God, adding, "It's very good for publicity, but if you don't believe in the devil, you don't believe in curses." Of course, some crew members thought that the set was indeed haunted, so Friedkin invited Father Thomas Birmingham, a consultant on the film, to perform an exorcism. I said, "No, Billy, I don't want to increase anxiety or anything like that, but we're probably not dealing with anything more than an accident of one kind or another," Birmingham shared in the documentary. So instead, he just blessed everyone. As for Blair, she said the subject matter wasn't scary to her even as a 13-year-old because she realized she was raised Protestant and didn't really understand the concept of possession. As she explained in a 2000 interview with IGN, it says, "I always say that it's probably a good thing they didn't hire a Catholic child who may have heard of the devil and things were in the closet." So, hashtag Panic's take. Do you think the Exorcist set was haunted?
I believe in that stuff, Bob. I think there is some kind of a bad vibe going on over there, and these things did occur because the set was probably cursed. Makes you think twice about maybe signing up for a movie, you know? Especially like this. But yeah, I'm going with cursed, Bob. Going with cursed.
So you think the set was cursed?
Yeah, I'm going with that. You? A lot of unusual things. Too many to explain, really.
Too many to explain is correct.
Yeah. How about you?
I think there's too much to go here and to see if it can't be explained, you know?
Yeah. But you can't explain it. So it's unexplainable. But makes you think differently watching that movie again, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It does.
So what do you think about the Ronald Doe?
I think it.
Roland. I keep saying Ronald, and it's ticking me off. Roland.
I said, I told you there earlier, Bob. I believe it. I think there is something to be said here where it's not, it's believable, Bob. I think it's going to go believable.
So you think the kid was possessed?
Yeah.
Despite the skeptic's point of view, I'm going with you on this one. I think that there was definitely a possession going on. I think that it was a pretty potent thing that was possessing that kid. And, and then the curse set, people say that it wasn't, but too much coincidences,
Yeah, no, for sure. Too many coincidences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've worked on film sets. I've never cut my toe off.
No. Well, we haven't been on curse sets, I don't think. I don't think so.
I feel like some days this set is
Yeah, well,
cursed.
sometimes it is when the machines don't work.
Yeah.
It is cursed.
So, Count Panic, what do
Yeah.
you got to say for the audience this evening?
Friday, Sunday, if you're at Riot Fest, I won't be hard to miss there. If you see me, come up to me. Only $20. Oh, no, I'm kidding. I'll talk to you.
You can't miss him. He'll be the only one at Riot Fest in a cape.
And if you can't meet your favorite bands, you can surely meet me. Right?
I would say so.
You might have a hard time meeting Weird Al or Blink-182 or Green Day, but I mean, I'm easily approachable.
All right, folks. Thank you for watching
Yeah.
and listening to another episode
Yeah.
of Bob After Dark. On behalf of all of us, I just want to say good night to my mother. I hope you have sweet dreams. To my dad, I hope you're happy doing whatever it is that you want to be doing in the universe. And the Tiff, no matter where you are in the world, I hope you have the sweetest dreams in them all. Good night, everybody. And remember, the two most important rules of Bob After Dark are not all who wander are lost, and as above, so below. Until next time.
Memoriam Development.